Starset with their new album, Divisions. The third Starset album, and this is going to be my take on it, my quick thoughts on it. It's not going to be a regular review. I just want to give my quick thoughts, my overall thoughts on this album, Divisions. Now, as you guys know, I really liked a couple of the singles that came out before the album. Now, there was two singles I did not like, but there was two that I did like. The two that I did like were Where the Skies End and Diving Bell. I actually thought those were really good songs. So, that actually gave me a little bit of hope for this album. Because when the first single, Manifest, came out, I know I didn't really get a lot of love for that review. But nonetheless, when that single came out, I wasn't expecting anything great. But when Diving Bell especially came out, it really made me have some high hopes for this album. And I was thinking, well, this album actually might not be bad. This actually might be a pretty interesting listen. So, yeah, I got my notes right here. So, I just want to start off by, addressing what do I think of this album overall? Did it disappoint? Was it great? Is it album of the year? Let's find out. Are you kidding me? This album, Divisions, is the worst album that I've heard all year. There's no doubt about it. This album was a huge disappointment to me, and even looking at this album objectively, it's probably the worst album that Starset has ever put out. I mean, I know some people might not admit that because, ooh, it's a new album, oh, I'm so excited, But wait till your excitement wears off and really look at this album objectively. You can't deny that this album is the least creative, and it's the worst album that Starset has done. And this is pretty sad. Starset is this early in their career, and they're already becoming a pop band. Now, yes, I know that there were some people that were saying that, ooh, Starset's always had electronic and pop elements and stuff like that. I get that. However, this album, Divisions, really does take it a step further. I mean, the thing too, I listen to tracks like Waking Up, which is a song that I recall very much being poppy. And a lot of this album is very similar to that. It's not a fun listen. It's not a great album. I don't know why they picked the best songs as singles because if anything, it's like a big letdown. It's like to get you excited because I did like Where the Skies End, and I even like Diving Bell. It's like they got you excited and then disappointment. It's a very poppy album, and the fans, you guys don't help. There's a lot of fans that I know that will defend this album. I know I didn't receive a whole lot of love for my Manifest track review, and yeah, but I'm just telling you right now, this album, it's definitely the worst album of this year that I've at least heard. Because as you guys know, I don't check out, bands that I just don't like. Maybe there's some other pop artists that, reached worst album of the year, but I'm talking as far as I've heard, and bands that, I'm somewhat interested in. Starset really did take the cake with this one. But I know that there's going to be some people that claim this to be best album of the year simply because it's the only album from a modern rock band that released this year. First of all, I just got to say that this year has been a fantastic year for music. And if you think that this year has been bad due to the lack of modern rock, edgy rock albums, then that's your loss. You're the one who's missing out on a lot of great bands releasing great music this year. There's bands like Queensryche releasing albums this year. You want to listen to good albums this year? Why don't you go listen to that? Or how about Dream Theater's latest album? Or Killswitch Engage's latest album. You know, this year has just been insane for music. And then, of all the albums, you claim Starset's new album that basically sounds like top 40 radio to be the best album of the year, simply because nothing more than just the fact that it's, you know, Starset. It's from a band that's under the rock genre, even though this isn't really a rock album. You know, it's more of a pop album. And these are the people that are the ones that bash on top 40 radio modern pop music. But how is your music any different? A lot of the songs on Starset's new album sound like they came out of just straight out of top 40 radio. It sounds like trendy modern pop. I mean, if this is the future of rock music, then the future of rock music is concerning. And I will be one of those old guys in the future who say, you know, oh, music was so much better then. Because it probably would be true. If this is the future of pop music, or rock music for that matter. So, yeah. This album, Divisions by Starset, it's the worst album I've heard all year. I know that might blow the minds of some of you, but hey, look, I still have my pulse, you know? I can live without modern rock music. And I can especially live without this. And even when it does come to modern rock music, it's not bands like Starset that do it for me. If I wanted to listen to modern rock, I'd go to bands like Breaking Benjamin or Red, you know, bands like them that are, you could actually consider rock bands. You know, now, like I said before, I do like a couple of the songs from Starset's newest album. I liked Where the Skies End, and I even like Diving Bell. Diving Bell is actually my favorite out of all the songs on the album. I think, you know, it's actually a really good track, and maybe one of my favorite Starset songs. I gotta give this album that, so I can't say that this album is all bad. I can't say I hate everything, but all in all, this album is a big disappointment. Definitely not one of the best albums of the year. If you think it is, then you really got to rethink about your musical journey, because holy crap, it's clear that you are ignorant towards a lot of great bands. If you think that this surpasses everything, that's just ridiculous. It really is. But I can understand if you like most of this album, if you still think it's a good album, but address its issues and still address that, yeah, maybe it's not the best album of the year, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, because, you know, if you like the album, that's your opinion, but, I mean, to say that it's album of the year that's really pushing it. It really is. But regardless, if I were to give this album a score, honestly, you guys might not agree, but I'd give it a 3 out of 10. It does have a few good songs on it, but it's a very poppy album, and I just, it's very boy band-y sounding, you know? And I just don't know how some of you men, especially, who are just okay with listening to this style, you know? It's, like, it's, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. So, yeah. Starset's new album, Divisions, it's not a good album in my opinion. It's terrible. It's the worst. It's the worst thing I've heard all year. So, yeah. So, thanks for watching and take care.